Hello and welcome to the fifth in series of Future of Commodities, Commodities the Next Decade. We have come a long way in commodity markets and the positive results are there for all to see. It has been a decade of many ups like high volume growth, good participation, and then CTT was introduced and we have had hiccups as well on the front of spot exchanges, warehousing and assaying issues. That's all a part and parcel of the growth, but now we are looking at many changes, developments, looking to go through in form of regulations, new products, policies and exchanges. So let's look forward then and let's get in our experts as well. Joining us on the show are Ramesh Abhishek, who's Chairman, Forward Market Commission. Also on the panel is Mr. Sameer Shah, who's Managing Director, NCDEX. Dr. Devendra Pant is Chief Economist and Head Public Finance at India Ratings. We also have with us T. Nandakumar, who is Chairman, NDDB Board. Sameer, we have come more than a decade in commodity derivative markets. What has been the learning curve and what is the top on the list now for the next big jump?
I think it's a very pertinent question, given that we have spent 10 years in this industry. So I think there are a few learnings that are quite important. One is that commodity markets have, I think, truly established themselves. So we have the institutional mechanisms in place and the institutions in place, both in the form of a regulator, exchanges, a certain level of regulations, a certain level of market acceptance, a certain level of policy acceptance. So the price signals that are coming out of the commodity markets have now gained some acceptance. So price signals are now beginning to be used as a very effective business tool to give price signals to policymakers, businesses, farmers, to use the price signals and plan their businesses and policies effectively. The other learning is that price discovery and risk management that happens on commodity exchanges has also now come to be accepted. More and more corporates and large corporates now who are participants in the commodity trade effectively participate on the commodity markets for hedging purposes. In terms of the top items now is I think is one of real scale. Liquidity, innovation. So it's basically the next phase of growth that needs to happen. More product innovation needs to happen, more participation needs to happen, the missing gaps in regulations need to be plugged, like the FCRA amendment, for example. So it's really about a much more thriving, vibrant market over the next decade is what we should all expect as far as commodity markets are concerned.
Well, we have come more than a decade in case of commodity derivatives. What does the industry really need to look at or look for or requires in the next decade for growth?
See, in order to have a very developed futures market, we need many more products. Right now, we only have plain vanilla futures. We need options, we need index trading, we need weather derivatives and various other products which can be made use by the market participants. We also need participation of various financial institutions and various other agencies which is not allowed right now. So with all this participation and products, then we can have a very strong, vibrant futures market where price discovery will be much more meaningful and the hedging opportunities to the physical market participants and otherwise will be real. So I think we should look forward to next few years when the necessary legislative changes are made, that this market will enjoy the confidence of all by including all these participants and by offering these products.
Dr. Pant, how have you seen the commodity derivative markets as a tool for price discovery and hedging?
We are talking about the commodity market. Here what we are talking about some of the farmers which are very small size, what we say the small and marginal farmer. And that's the question of linking the dots. Some of them may be having the access, the large farmer and large farmers, but the small and marginal farmers, they are not able to take advantage of this price discovery fully. What we are saying at the end of the day is mainly the traders and some other people, middlemen, they are taking advantage of this. So to say, if in the recent past we have seen the way the food prices have increased, where the food prices has jumped, Some of the it's not the farmers who got the benefit of that price rise. It's those traders and those people, those who was having the stocks of those commodities, they got advantage of it.
Mr. Nandakumar, in the past 1 decade, would you say that the commodity derivative markets have served their purpose of price discovery and hedging?
The answer is obviously no, because the farmers have not been really connected with the price discovery part, and it's worked in patches, and even hedging to some extent has not been successful because of cash settlement procedures, and I think the markets themselves did not cover too much of the quantity. It could also be because that we operate in a regime where most of the large commodities are covered by an MSP, which is much more acceptable and known to the farmers, and they have really not come on board on price discovery.
Sameer, but what does the industry still need to do to promote safe and transparent operations in the industry?
If you look at the regulations, the regulator and the regulations are quite evolving. It's only, I would still say that it's still nascent industry. For example, the stock markets have been around in India for 130 years, so there's a certain amount of transparency and a certain amount of regulatory framework and maturity of that regulatory framework that exists. Commodity markets need to move significantly in that direction. So as far as regulations are concerned, I think there are two aspects to regulations. One, that the regulations need to be growth oriented. So they need to be pragmatic, they need to be practical, they need to facilitate increased participation of market participants in the trade, in the commodity markets. And number two, the regulations need to enforce compliance in a lot more stringent manner, because the commodity markets are quite unique from the equity markets. You are dependent on the physical markets. The physical markets are not regulated by the central government. The primary markets are regulated at a state level, and there is fragmentation. So there are different laws and different aspects that make the physical markets quite fragmented. So in order to make the market more transparent and more trustworthy, I think regulations need to be more growth oriented, and they need to be more stricter in compliance and more integrated with the physical markets.
Well, clearly it is about the FCRA and more products and indexes that need to be introduced into the commodity markets. We will go for a short break. When we come back, we will discuss all of that and more. Welcome back. While the participation and the regulations do need a change, the recent FMC policies have become just more friendlier. Let's talk more about that. Mr. Abhishek, what are the new initiatives from your side that can be expected for the commodity derivatives trade as we go ahead?
I think we are trying to see, in consultation with the market participants and exchanges, as to how we can improve more and more participation in the market, whether by introducing higher position limits or by adjusting the margins to properly cater to the risk, but not too high, not too low. We are also looking at the daily price limits, which sometimes lead to price manipulation. We are very now liberal about introducing new products. Earlier we were slightly wary of, and there are also many mini contracts which are being available now for the market. So all these, I think, will help a lot in bringing people and generating more confidence into this market.
Dr. Pant, for many commodities, we as a country are the major producers, consumers, even exporters, and our price is really seen as a reference price by most of the global markets also now. How as a country or as a sector can we capitalize on that?
Well, this is when we're talking about this modern day technology, be it the equity market, be it the commodity market. The thing which plays very important role is how quickly the utilization of the information which is available. Now the way things are in India, it takes a lot of time before any exports takes place. So the tender has to be floated, FCI will release excess stock, some people can do this, some can't do this. So by the time that they are able to take advantage, it may be they will miss the bus. But yes, if the information dissemination is faster, somehow those people, those who are holding this, having these stocks, or the farmers, if they are able to make use of it and quickly with the time as the information is disseminated to them, it will help them in realizing a better price compared to the price which is prevailing in India.
Mr. Abhishek, how would you want to see the regulatory framework being strengthened for commodities?
The existing FCRA did not envisage so many things that are being done now, and this definitely needs a huge considerable change. The regulations definitely need to be improved. So all these are part of the FCRA amendment which is in progress. So I'm sure going forward the regulatory regime will be strengthened, I'm sure, which will also offer the kind of products and participation that this market requires.
Sameer, and as the FMC chairman also is pointing out that the FCRA is the need of the hour, it already has been tabled and perhaps the next parliament may see a passage of that as well. What's your view?
Yeah, I think that's a very critical step in terms of development of the markets and taking them to the next level. We are looking forward to the FCRA amendment on two fronts. One is to see a stronger, autonomous and a more powerful regulator. A strong regulator gives a huge amount of confidence to the marketplace. Already we are seeing that FMC in the recent past has been churning out and has been releasing several forward-looking market reform initiatives. With it coming under the umbrella of Ministry of Finance has been a very positive step. So an even more stronger regulator, I think, bodes well for the markets, and it's imperative. You see several industries that have grown in the country and overseas have always grown with the presence of a strong regulator. You've seen the emergence of a strong insurance sector after the IRDA has come into place. You've seen a re-emergence of the pension sector after PFRDA has come in place. You've seen the impact of SEBI that it has had on the capital markets. So every regulator, really a strong regulator is very important for growth of markets. So that is the one aspect that we see as far as FCRA is concerned. The second aspect that we are looking forward from FCRA's perspective, or the amendment of FCRA, is the launch of options and indices. The options market and the indices market worldwide is at least twice as large as the futures market is internationally. So that is going to unleash a certain level of growth and potential that is currently not tapped. And options, we've always felt that are better instruments for a farmer. So these are the two aspects that we think that the amended FCRA will bring to the table: a stronger regulator and better products through options and indices.
Mr. Nandakumar, according to you, what policy changes or regulatory changes also that needs to be done for this sector to see further growth and participation? How would you list them out?
Yeah, the policy is, I think we need to encourage farmers, we need to encourage aggregators primarily, because a farmer with half a truckload of potatoes or one truckload of wheat is not ideally suited to get into a futures market or a derivatives market. So we need to encourage aggregators either in the cooperative sector or in the private sector or as group of farmers, and we need to provide a platform within the three acts that I mentioned. I think the Forward Markets Act, the WDRA, and the Agriculture Produce Market Committee Act. And we need to look at all these three together and connect them together, and that's really where the policy and the legal interventions are required. Plus, of course, as I mentioned earlier, I think there are issues of transparency and accountability which needs to be addressed separately on a platform, which I hope is being done.
Well, shifting on to another topic then, Sameer, what new commodities or products would you want to see in the trading, or would you want to launch in the space?
We are big champions of fit-for-purpose products. So different classes of investors and different types of market participants need different kinds of products. And we've sort of really thought through this in a great amount of detail. So if we need the 9.23 lakh crores of agri-industry that takes place to participate on the markets, we need to design products that are effective for different segments of this marketplace. And we've been doing that quite a bit. So for example, we launched a smaller contracts which are intention matching contracts a couple of weeks ago in chana and castor seed, which is meant to attract a slightly different class of participants, which are the arbitrageurs, the jobbers, retail investors, informed retail investors can now participate through these smaller contracts, which that segment of market has been asking for quite a while, for quite a long time. The physical players and the hedgers can participate in the compulsory delivery contracts that are already quite mature and performing quite well in Chana and Castor. So that's just an example. In the precious metal space, we launched the gold hedge contracts and the silver hedge contracts that is meant to promote the rapid financialization of precious metals and promote precious metals as an investment asset class. So that was another example. We launched steel contracts or relaunched steel contracts 3-4 months back in order to attract the huge steel industry that is out there. Steel rebar contracts are one of the fastest growing contracts in global commodity exchanges on Shanghai Futures Exchange, for example. Product innovation is going to be an extremely key aspect. Different products for different customer segments need to be launched. Going forward, we'd like to continue that journey. We are very keen to launch a cash and a forward segment on the regulated NCDX marketplace as well. We are in discussions with the regulator to do that.
Okay, so that's lots of positive feedback coming in from our panelists. And as the conversation just gets more interesting, it's time for a very short break. We will come back soon. Welcome back. Well, a lot of initiatives have been taken by the regulator, the ministry, the exchanges as well for the betterment of the commodity derivatives sector. Let's talk about them in detail. Dr. Pant, while we still are awaiting the FCRA Amendment Act, but would you say that banks, if they also are allowed, would act more credibility and participation in debt growth also coming in for this sector?
So the banks coming into this picture and having becoming part of this chain will help not only the corporates but even to the banks to understand the needs and requirement of different corporates, and they can design their lending policies and others according to the requirement of their individual customers.
Mr. Nandakumar, what kind of an inclusion would you expect the commodities as a sector to take in Indian economy, considering that agriculture is such an important part of our GDP?
Yeah, I think the first one, we have to look at the APMC Act. I think we need to ensure that the APMCs are functional and they are able to deliver products on an electronic platform, which means that we need to have standards, we need to have specifications, and somebody, let's say for example, sitting in somewhere in southern India buying potatoes from Agra or one of those markets need to get a delivery according to a certain standard and specification. So that is an important element. The second, I think we need to look at the entire warehousing infrastructure, including the connect with the Warehousing Development Regulation Act, because if somebody buys on trust on an electronic platform, he need to get what he has actually paid for. And the third is, I think the farmers need to know that the price discovery is good for them, and when they see a price and then they take a decision to plant something, towards the harvest they cannot be let down, and I think they need to get that price that they have bargained for. So a little more insistence on delivery rather than on cash settlement, I think, is relevant to the Indian context.
When we look at the various changes in the space, most have been market friendly. What more needs to be done now to promote safe and transparent operations?
I think what we are trying to do is to make regulations as market friendly as possible, while making sure that there is adequate transparency in the markets. There are disclosures to ensure that market participants know what's going on. With this in mind, we want to liberalize position limits, which are quite restricted right now. We also need to relax the daily price limits, which often lead to price manipulation. We need to have better market surveillance, and similarly we also need to have similar regulations for agri and non-agri products, which are now different in many cases, including trade timings. We are actually looking forward to making a number of reforms in the market, which will make this market more transparent, more participative, and definitely much more efficient in terms of price discovery, and offering much better opportunities to the hedgers, while ensuring that the price signals coming from the market help the farmers and producers and other participants in taking important economic decisions.
Dr. Pant, if we look at the Indian derivative markets, the commodities here are more standardized, while the spot markets are still fragmented. How do you see, or how long do you see before we can integrate the two?
It is very difficult to put a time frame. Ideally, both should be developed at the same pace. Both should be giving services to the same kind of people. But as I said, the spot market, when you're looking at again the question comes: the small marginal farmer, they are producing at one corner of the country. They are not connected with the technology and other things. By the time it will take further some more time when the technology is in place and the farmers, they have access from their place where they are producing. Until unless that happens, this kind of problem between the spot and derivative market will continue to exist.
Mr. Abhishek, it has been a long time since any new product was launched by any commodity exchange. Do you see a slackness there now?
I think there is a need to introduce many more new products. We are already considering that the three commodities, tur, urad and rice, are again listed for futures trading. There are also proposals with us for introducing future trading in some more commodities. I think exchanges also need to work more and develop new products and work on new commodities. I think the scope is tremendous, and I think, but with more participation from various institutions and more products, then I think it will be also easier to launch many more products. Right now we don't allow market making, but that is something that we are considering very actively. So hopefully in the coming weeks we will be able to do that, because that is also required when you want to develop a new product. So many of these constraints are coming in the way of developing new products, but we are addressing all these issues effectively.
Sameer, as the FMC chairman just pointed out, that they have told the exchanges to come out with new initiatives, newer products. So from what side, what are you proposing now to get new in the market?
Within the agri space, we are looking at both more agri contracts to bring to the table, just like we did with cottonseed and CPO very recently. We just received the Bajra approval last evening from FMC, and so we'll be looking to launch Bajra very soon. We are awaiting launch of tur and urad in the agri space. So that's as far as new contracts are concerned. Now within the same contracts, there is more innovation that we'd like to do and more variants that we'd like to introduce, like the smaller contracts that we've introduced in chana and castor. We'd like to diversify into the non-agri space as well. We think that there are significant untapped opportunities in that segment. So both between agri and non-agri, I think we will continue that journey to introduce more contracts, and our philosophy for more contracts is not just to introduce more contracts for the sake of doing so. They've got to be economically relevant to the country. That's the primary objective of futures markets and derivative markets, which is to offer price discovery and risk management solutions. So they have to be economically relevant, number one. Number two, they have to be relevant to the segment that we are desirous of serving. So the contracts have to be designed with a deep understanding of what people are looking for and what value it brings to them.
All right, so that is what our expert panelists feel, that this is all that needs to be done for the next decade of commodities growth. But with that, thank you so much for watching.